8:44 morning. You're watching and listening to Breakfast with Stephen and Anne live across the UK on your TV, your radio and online. And we were talking earlier on, do you remember that lovely place that's been named Village of the Year or Beach of the Year? It's Bamborough.
Bamborough.
It's spelt Bamberg, like Edinburgh.
Yeah.
But it's Bamborough. So there you go. Thank you, Floyd Mack, for correcting me on that one.
It looked like the most beautiful beach. Actually, all of the village and everything near around. But don't go there because you'll spoil it.
We'll go. We can go.
We'll go, secretly, yeah.
Wait, it's just up the road from where you grew up.
No, it's on the other side of the country, isn't it?
Oh,
Northumberland, I'm Cumbria.
Oh, okay. No, it's the other side.
As you can tell, we've already been joined by broadcaster Pete Price and anthropologist Marianne Hota, who are going to help us look through the papers. Marianne, you're looking at HRT in the Times.
Yeah, so this has been rumbling on, and it's found its way to page 16 of the Times. I really think it should probably be, on the front pages, because this is a culmination of those global supply chains, of the impact of Brexit, all the rest of it.
Interesting question then, why isn't it on the front pages?
Because people don't really care about older women
go.
very much. So this is about HRT, hormone replacement treatment, which is a treatment for women who are experiencing symptoms of the menopause being rationed because the supplies just aren't there. So Sajid Javid, the health secretary, has issued, quote, serious shortage protocols, apparently a kind of an official thing that means that basically if you are on HRT treatment, and it's a legitimate medication, it's not like a little luxury thing, it's something that really has a real impact on your health and well-being. You can only get 3 months worth of supplies, but already we've heard lots of women are basically getting a prescription, but then the pharmacy says, we haven't got any.
Yeah.
So then you go to another pharmacy and they go, we haven't got any either. And then you kind of go, well, I've only got a few days left. And then you fall off a cliff.
Yes.
Because if you can't take it, you can't take it. So now there's sort of, groups on Facebook saying, oh, I've got a few, you could have mine, or people selling, trying to buy it on the black market. It's super dodgy. And it's an absolute scandal. It really is a scandal.
Well, there was a shortage before the pandemic, wasn't there? And the pandemic just made it far, far worse now.
And again, I know I'm getting a lot of jip on social media for being party political. Just like to say, I'm not a member of any political party, I'm not an activist, I've just got opinions about how the country ought to be run for us, the people. I just think, again, we're just seeing the government really, really slow to respond. That the health secretary now, at the end of April, is going, oh yeah, we should do something about that, because it's actually impacting people's lives in a really negative way. In the same way that the cost of living crisis, oh yeah, well, we did a spring statement, and that had no benefit for anybody who's struggling with the cost of living. So maybe Boris Johnson, last week will have a meeting of the cabinet to perhaps discuss maybe they should do some stuff.
Where do you want the money to come from for this?
Depressing.
Where do you want the money to come from for this? We've just been in a pandemic again.
You can't say that to women who need HRT.
No, of course you can't, but you can't say that to people who are waiting for operations with cancer. 6.5 million now who've been waiting for treatment. That's the problem. Once again, forget the government. We are short of everything. And we've got the crisis in China now, where they're in lockdown. So we've got all those products can't come over here, which is going to be another crisis as well as the war.
It's got to be a priority. It's like, isn't it? Because it's real quality of life stuff.
Oh yes, of course it is. But there are other people out there now saying what I'm waiting for would help my quality of life.
So the government need to act. Simple as that.
Well, that's what governments are for.
Exactly. They're not doing anything.
But do we know where the shortage?
After their own interests.
But is the shortage just coming from is it a supply chain issue? Is that what? In which case, there's not actually anything we can do, is there?
Well, I mean, at this point, no. You have to issue your serious shortage protocol and hope for the best. But if you can look down the road and plan ahead, which you really kind of want, your leaders to do, and people who are controlling, pharmaceuticals and stuff like that, you need to plan ahead for these things.
But how can you plan ahead when there's a pandemic?
It won't just be HRT that will be...
How can you plan ahead when there's been a pandemic? Nobody in the world would know what has just happened. Everything's gone wrong. In not this country, every country, because of the pandemic.
Well, let's hope, though, we do have some emergency planning measures go into place, because it is a concern. Pete, can we change? I want to, because this was in the last hour, we didn't get to it because we were busy chatting. In the Mirror about Britain's Got Talent. Billy Elliot stuff. What is this all about? Because I haven't seen any of this.
I think this is a nice story, and I picked this story because it's a group of boys called Five Star Boys, and they're 5 real Billy Elliot boys who sadly love dancing, but sadly have had their passion taken away from them through bullying. People have tried to stop them doing what they want.
Sort of Billy Elliot story.
It's the Billy Elliot story, and they put it on Britain's Got Talent. The reason I picked this story is I am a great fan of Matthew Bourne, and most of the male dancers there are, if you have to categorise, heterosexual. Dancing is for everybody. Footballers have used ballet classes to learn balance, and I'm so glad that Britain's Got Talent has used this group of kids, because they're great kids. I believe they're superb dancers, and it's to say, follow your dream. You know, I lived with when I was young, it was illegal to be a homosexual. I'm not saying that they're gay, but I wanted to do stuff that you couldn't do, and I think it's incredible that you should be allowed to be who you are and do what you want. And I think to dance, I think it's a wonderful expression. I couldn't imagine life without Matthew Bourne.
Well, it is the Billy Elliot story. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Dancing's for girls.
Yeah, that's right.
I wish I could dance. You see all these pop stars and things.
You're not dancing at the wedding.
Oh, well, I've this sort of a smooch, slow dance. Yeah.
So you're not rehearsing one of these special dances to shock them?
A routine. No.
I am incredibly disappointed.
You'd look well in a
Would I?
Fred Astaire
A bit
suit.
Strictly.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'd give it. I would love to be able to dance like that. And some of the moves that you see, say the pop stars, and your Justin Timberlakes and all that lot, who can really do so. It's like amazing. Tom Holland, who was actually in Billy Elliot, wasn't he? One of the original.
Yes, he was. I saw him in Billy Elliot.
Yeah, and he's Spider-Man now, Pete. You know.
Oh, I mean, he's done tremendously well.
But he does. Yeah. There's some of his dancing on. He was on what's that show called? Lip Sync Challenge in the States, and the stuff he was dancing, it was unbelievable.
I think Tom Holland's going to play Fred Astaire in a new movie.
Is he?
Wow. Piece of casting. I love that.
That is really
So you say about dancing, I can dance, but I can dance, but when I was in Panto, I struggled when it's in routines, and Bev, who was our choreographer, I'll never forget it.
Play in Panto?
Well, I was ugly sister, but I had terrible nipple rash, so I had to stop using them, you know.
Well, there you are.
No. And,
Sorry, Stephen.
Oh, God. In fact, it was the wonderful panto. I've done 32 pantos, but 32 pantos, but my favourite was Scylla, and that was the famous story when Scylla was on stage, and she said, "How shall I kill him?" And so he went, "Sing to him!"
Oh, that's terrible.
Follow that.
Can we have a look at dogs, Mary Ann, in the Telegraph?
I was going to say, moving swiftly. So this is news that dogs with long faces find it harder to be rehomed because everyone thinks they look sad or a bit angry. So things like greyhounds, you know, ones with snouty muzzles, but also ones with flat faces like pugs. Also, everyone thinks they look sad rather than cute.
Yes, that's true, I think.
And so the suggestion is that in order to
buy them a mask.
Make people kind of realise that the dogs are happy, have videos on rehoming sites and animal charities, so you can see the dog in action, looking happy and jolly, rather than kind of just like dour-faced and snouty.
Yeah, it's like black and white cats are really hard to rehome in restaurant centres.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're the hardest ones to house, black and white, because they're ordinary. So, I know, my Timmy's black and white. I love a black and white cat. We're out of time, sadly. Mary Ann, Pete.
Thank you very much.
It's been a joy.
It's been long. I'm going home now to iron my bed.
Yes, quite right.
I'm going home now to do no such thing.
Good.
Exactly.
Good. Thank you both.
That's what I want to know.